Hey, what's up, people? So the other day I came across this little post on Facebook, and it's all about the funds, the federal funds that are going to these big colleges, and it's basically, would you take away the funds going to the big colleges and give them to trade schools? Um, it's a pretty controversial thing because a lot of people said yes, but a lot of people are going to say no. I actually had a conversation with a gentleman, and it was really kind of interesting. It was enlightening. But here's the issue, and this is what I think, and I might be wrong. It's not a big deal if I am, but I think you'll understand this. They want to take away the funding from like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, all these major colleges that have these gigantic tuition fees. But they also have a bankroll, and then they're getting federally funded. And I think that's wrong. I think that's 100% wrong, and they shouldn't get that kind of money. And I think we should turn around and feed the trade schools. Now, I don't mean technically just like give them the money. I mean, portion of it could be grants. You take, mix it up a little bit. You got, it could be loans and grants, whatever, however you want to work it out. But I think the issue is we need to turn around and do this with some of this money, because we are really in bad shape when it comes to tradesmen. And the next few videos, you're going to see how short we are in the workforce. And with the millennials and Gen Z, it's not going to improve. It may actually even become worse. We're going to eventually lose our military because these, Gen Zs, they don't want to do it. They have no interest in they're protecting their country and keeping their country alive. And I'm not saying all of them, but a percentage of them. But statistically, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be a decline in our military. And then we'd have to wait for this generation Alpha to grow up because they're too far behind. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now. So I got some stuff coming up onto this video. I want you to take a look at it. Let me know what you think. It's really just, important factors. So would you support giving federally funded money to trade schools? And I'm not talking about giving it to them so they can pay their bills and put their lights on and all that stuff. I'm saying you take that money, put it so where if somebody wants to become an electrician or a carpenter or a plumber or a HVAC guy or a welder, a paint, I don't know, whatever it is, if there's a class for it, a study for it, where they can go and apply for a loan, get a loan, lower interest rate loan, something that's affordable during the payback so they don't crush the common person. And that's another big issue. They want to give out these loans, but the rate is so high on the repayment that once you graduate school, you get a job, you're still struggling because you can't advance yourself because you're being bogged down with these really super expensive notes from the bank. So I think that's another thing that should be, in consideration, and, just tell me what you think. So when the videos come up and you start looking at them, they're really quick. They're not even videos. They're really actually more like photos, but you'll see it, there's not too many of them. It's only maybe about 20 seconds, really, if you look at the time framing. It's not long. But check them out. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll be back for an answer. All right, so now that you got to see what I posted, what do you think? Tell me. Do you think we should support the trades? It's a good way to start. Take that money from the rich colleges and give it to the trade schools. Let me know. Hit the like button, subscribe.